right, could you please tell us your name?
Sandy Sanchez, Sandy Sanchez.
Jesse Sanchez, Jessefesanchez.
Okay, and
Our son is Anthony Nunez.
could you spell out his name, please?
ANTHONYNUNEZ.
Okay, perfect. And what brings you today? What is this event in regards to, and what does it mean to you being here
Unity,
today?
bringing awareness to so many killings. Officers are taking our loved ones and getting away with it. It needs to stop. Together, we're more powerful. We're stronger.
Can you tell me a little bit about Anthony and the case and what had happened to Anthony?
Anthony, on the 4th of July, 2016, it's been 5 years. He was killed on the 4th of July. Anthony suffered a mental breakdown and picked up a gun and shot himself in the head. He opened up like the skull, like the skin. My nephew came home and found him and called 911 for help. Actually, 6 calls were made for help. There was a language barrier where Anthony, my nephew didn't speak very good English, and he was telling them in Spanish, but he was able to tell them that, that his cousin had shot himself. And so they knew, and they asked, where's the weapon? He said, right here. He said, take it away from him, put it in the backyard. So that's the first thing he did. When he had that conversation with the operator, Anthony was unconscious. He wasn't awake or nothing, so he had no clue where the gun went, what happened. Somehow he kept getting disconnected or something happened. So there were 6 calls. On the 6th call, finally the translator got on the phone and told the 911 operator to stop talking because he couldn't hear my nephew what he was trying to say to him. And the 911 operator told him, come outside, help is here. So my nephew came outside thinking help was here. And he saw a bunch of police officers at the corner. Our house was the second house to on the front of the street by the stop sign. And so he ran over there frantically screaming, please help him. I can bring him out for you. I can bring him outside because my son had woken up and went to the front of the house and was standing there in the front of the house. He woke up and he started stumbling to the front of the house, inside the house, and he passed out again. And so my nephew was already outside and stuff, and he told them, hey, my cousin is right here. I can bring him out to you. Help him. He needs help. He's bleeding. And they searched him and put him in handcuffs and put him in the back of a police car, my nephew. And then they moved the car a little bit away from the house. He said within a minute or 2, he heard 2 gunshots. Bam, bam, that fast. And I guess my son came out to the front of the house and was standing in the front of the house holding his head where he had shot himself. He was bleeding profusely. And they shot him once in the front and once in the back. Both shots were fatal. The officers tried to cover it up. They said that Anthony pointed a gun, that he came out aggressively with his chest sticking out like this and acted somewhat of a cowboy, had the gun on his right hand, twirled it in his index finger, twirled it like this, and then pointed it at them. Luckily, my neighbors had cameras on their house that, you could see in front of our house. It's grainy, it's kind of far away, but you don't see any hand movements from Anthony or anything like that, what they said. Our other neighbor that lives in front of us told us he saw everything. And he told the officers, after they murdered him, they shot Anthony. They left him in handcuffs in front of our house for hours. I don't know why. They shot him like at 5-something in the evening. And he was there till 2 in the morning in front of our house, dead in handcuffs. And my neighbor said he woke up at 1-something and his body was still out there. I don't know why that happened, but after they shot and killed him, they gave each other a high five and congratulated themselves like it was a good kill. He was just an 18-year-old kid that needed help. They said that, you know, they were in fear for their life, so that's why they shot him. They were in fear for their life from almost 200 feet away. One was 177, one was 180 feet away from him. How can you be in fear for your life? You have these big guns, you have all this gear on you, everything. And, you know, they never tried to save his life. They never tried to de-escalate, like they try to lie on the news and said for 14 minutes they try to save his life, try to get him to put the gun down. How are you trying to get him to put the gun down when you damn well know that he had no weapon? He didn't have a gun. And so they try to lie about it. Like I said, my neighbors had cameras. It was rolling while, you know, everything that was taking place. It shows the officer, Anthony Vizuzzi, is one of the shooters, and Michael Santos is the second shooter. It shows them, the camera's rolling, and it shows that within Anthony Vizuzzi, when he set up, within 3 minutes and 20 seconds of him setting up and getting in front of our house across the street, actually he was at the house where my neighbors had the cameras. So the camera noted everything, it recorded everything. Within 3 minutes and 20 seconds, my son was dead. So they never try to save his life. They never try to de-escalate. They lied about everything.
Do you remember the name of the cops?
Anthony Vizuzzi is one of them.
Okay.
And the other one's Michael Santos.
Nothing happened to them.
No.
As of now, nothing
They got
has
promoted.
happened. They got promoted.
They got promoted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Anthony? Who was he as a person?
Oh my gosh.
What was his character?
Tall, skinny kid who loved to rap and dance. I have videos, so many videos of him dancing and doing these silly dances. He loved his family, had so many friends. The teachers loved him. He was a travieso, yeah, he was like, you know, but everybody loved him. He had a lot of friends. And he loved to rap. He'd make up songs and stuff. He had 5 months left to graduate high school. And he had enough credits and everything to get his GED at the time of his death. And he goes, no, Mom. He goes, you know what? He goes, I'm going to get my diploma. I'm going to walk the stage. It was so important to him to make us proud because his brother and his sister had graduated high school and he was a baby. So he's like, I'm going to do this too, Mom. I'm going to walk the stage. Watch. He had 5 months left to finish high school. Wow. And then he was going to enlist in the Army. Since he was 8, he would tell us, I'm going to go to the Army. Mom will be a hero, Ma. He had 5 months left, and he was going to enlist in the Army after graduation. But officers had, you know, they end up murdering him.
How about you, sir? Are there some words that you would like to say?
You know, Anthony, you know, he didn't deserve that, you know.
What is something that you would say that to preserve his legacy, Anthony's legacy? What do you think that we could do as people listening to this interview, to this video? What can we do to
get involved, support our families. Don't let it happen to you. You know, we're good, hardworking people. I had a daycare at my house. He had his own business doing home theater installation. You know, Anthony was brought up in a good home. You know, my son was in college. His sister had just graduated high school, and he was the last one to finish. And like I said, you know, he had goals, he had dreams, what he wanted to do with his life. And we don't know what happened that day, why he picked up a gun and shot himself. We weren't home. We were out of town at a family reunion. And the only reason why he stayed behind was because he got his first job. He had bought his first car, $600 little car. He opened up a bank account. He, you know, he was just doing whatever 18-year-old kid does, you know. He had a girlfriend that he loved. You know, he had dreams and goals. He had, what's her name? You know, he had dreams. He had things that he wanted to do, and nothing just makes sense to us of everything that happened.
Okay. Are there any last comments that you would like to say before we conclude? Or
In his honor, on the third year, before the third year of his angel anniversary, the first 2 years we were at the cemetery, all we did was cry. All the families would get together. All my family, I have a huge family, friends. We'd get together and just out there and cry. Everybody would be sad. And after his second angel anniversary, he came up with an idea. I told him I want to do something in his honor. I want to do something, to bring over who he was. He had so many friends, and I said he was so loved. And so he said, why don't we do a backpack giveaway? And let's target the young people that are on the streets, the youth people that people forget about, and they point the finger at them. Look at the drug addict. Look at this homeless person. Let's do something to help kids in trouble or kids that need help, just people in general. So we started that. The first year, I think we did 200 backpacks. We put hygiene products in them. We did a big, huge barbecue for the community. We fed like 300 people. We give out his shirts, his buttons, talk about him. Unfortunately, we've been doing it this would have been his third year. Unfortunately, this year my whole family got COVID, so we couldn't do the big backpack, but that's what we do. We're starting his organization. It's called angel18.net, and it stands for Anthony Nunez Giving Everybody Love. And with that organization, we plan on focusing on the same thing as, young kids that need help, whatever, helping them get in school, helping them get a job, helping them just better themselves. And that's what we do in his name, in his honor. That's what we do to keep his name alive. We celebrate him as if, he was still here, because I know that's what he would want. So.
all right. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you so much.
Justice shall be served.
Thank you.